What's up guys, Silver here with another Halo Wars 2 achievement guide. This time we are doing part 2 of our legendary run through. This is a new enemy, the second mission of Halo Wars 2. So we're going to start up this mission on legendary and we're going to throw a bunch of skulls on, a bunch of beneficial skulls for the most part. So we start up this mission, just move forward until that area lights up and we're going to retreat. We're going to let the Hornets take these guys out after like 15 seconds or so. I skipped ahead a little bit there, but after 15 seconds or so, a bunch of Hornets will come in and help you out. And you could really just let them do everything there. So that's what we're going to do here. And again, I didn't mention this, but in my previous video I mentioned it. This is sped up a little bit just to make it a quicker playthrough. But you'll get all the information and everything in here. But we're just going to move up. And I'm only going to move up Jerome, my Spartan. So I'm going to use him to kill pretty much everybody in the beginning here. So I'll move him up. And you could see that my units and the enemy units have very low health. And that is due to the Pestilence skull. That means that whenever a unit is trained and basically comes into existence in the game, he will start losing health from the moment he comes into existence or is trained or whatever. So he won't fully die, but he'll become very weak. So once you get to like 10% health, the energy or your life stops draining, but you still remain very weak. So you won't die from it, and your enemies won't die from it. They'll just get very lethargic and easy to kill. But with the Spartan not only has the health, but he has the shield as well, and the shield is unaffected by that skull. So that's why I'm using the Spartan to just move up and take everybody out. And then in this instance, it looks like his shield was being depleted pretty quickly, so I just retreated, cut ahead there to the shield regenerating, and I just go back at it again. So you could just use the Spartan to move up and move back as needed and take out all these guys. So that is the Pestilence skull. That's why I have that on. And the other skulls I have on, there's 7 beneficial ones you want to throw on. They are Pain Train, Bountiful Harvest, Emperor, Total Annihilation, Firestarter, Things That Go Boom, and Sugar Cookies. So all those do various things like increase your hit points, make leader powers recharge faster, make player abilities recharge faster, give you more supplies and stuff like that. But they're not too important. Just throw those on. They are important, but the reason they're important isn't too pertinent to get into the reasons why. We just need to talk about Pestilence and After Party in a little bit. So you can see I moved the Spartan up into that barricade. You want to make sure he gets into that cover so he could protect himself and become more powerful. You actually have more offensive capabilities as well when you're in this cover. So I put him in the barricade on the right here as well. And the Kodiaks are helping me out too, those missiles that are kind of flying over my head and hitting those enemies. So again, we're going to move up and get into some of the cover here. So go into this barricade. And right here, we're going to just have the Spartan take all these guys out and wait for a little bit. So after a few minutes, the Hornets will come in. You can see here, I just skipped ahead a little bit. The Hornets come in after like 30 seconds or so. And then after a couple minutes more, the Hornets and your Spartan will be able to take out all these guys and the base, no problem. And that's that. I skipped ahead a little bit. And now the base is almost dead. And you could see that when the base was destroyed, a Wraith and some infantry popped into existence for the enemies. That is the effect of the After Party skull. What that does is whenever a base is blown up, then that person, whoever's base got blown up, they get a tank and they get an infantry unit. So we're going to use that to our advantage. It didn't work to our advantage there because obviously they got a Wraith tank that we had to deal with. But we are going to build our base. I moved all my units away because there's going to be an orbital strike from Decimus, which is a scripted event. But we built up our base to this point. This is kind of a tutorial, so you have to build it up to that extent. 1 supply pad, 1 power pad or whatever, and 1 barracks, and then you have the ability to do whatever you want. So what I did was I destroyed my base, and then I started building it up again, and then I canceled it, and then I started building it again and canceled it. And by doing that repeatedly, it gave me a tank every time I canceled building the base. So it gave me a tank and an infantry unit, which is why I have a huge army now all of a sudden. So I'm going to take these tanks, and we're just going to go straight up the gut. We're going to ignore all of the enemy units to the left and the right. There's a lot of kind of secondary objectives on either side, but we're just going to skip to the end here. Just take these tanks up and take all your guys up. And you can see I'm just going back to this base whenever I have the ability to make more. I'm just going to make more tanks. So we're just going to go up here and take out this base up top. And you can see I'm going back every now and then to create more tanks. There are some hunters up top, and hunters are very good against the tanks, but you'll easily be able to overwhelm them just with the amount of tanks you're sending at them and how quickly you're training them, because you're not really training them, you're just making them instantly pretty much. So I'm going to regroup here. I decided to just regroup, get all my tanks in one cluster, and I'm going to send them up here all at once for one final push. So I'm just creating more tanks there, and now we're going up here, and we're going to take out the remains of this base pretty easily. This is a very quick and effective strategy for beating this, and you could have any skulls you want on to get the legendary achievement, so that's exactly what we're doing here. So we're going to blow up this base, and then Decimus is going to come out of that teleporter down below us here. Here he comes. And this is a boss fight, but we are going to just leave, and since the Pestilence skull is on, he is going to lose health and pretty much die on his own for the most part. You could see we took a few shots at him, but he's going to die with the remainder of his health right now by himself. We're going to have to go up here and like hit him with a couple shots at the end, but you could see he'll get down to 3 red bars of health, and then his last orbital strike will come in, and then we can move up, and he'll go down to 2 red bars of health on his own, but then you have to come in and shoot him a couple times, but that's easy enough. So calling in the tanks again one more time, bring him up here, and once he takes a couple shots with the scorpions, he will retreat, and that is the end of the mission. So that is all a very quick and easy strategy for this this here first mission, first real mission. We're not going to count the signal, even though I made a guide for it, but don't worry about that. That is all for this one, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Click like and subscribe. Leave a comment. Follow me on Twitter at HaloCompletion and on Twitch and Mixer at SilverScorpion4. And check out my podcast, HaloConversationalists. And I'll see you guys later for more Halo achievements.